Welcome to English Studio. I'm Adam.
And I'm Celia. We are so happy you're joining us today. Today's episode is a special one, and it's something I think is really important. We're talking about feelings and emotions.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not just talking about the simple stuff like I'm happy or I'm sad. We want to give you the real ways to express how you actually feel in natural, everyday English.
Because everyone has emotions, right? Learning a new language shouldn't stop you from sharing them. In fact, it should help you connect with people even more.
That's a great point. It's about connection. And if this is your first time listening to us, welcome. We're so glad to have you. That's a great point. And it's also interesting to think about how different cultures express emotions. In some cultures, it's very normal to be open and expressive, while in others, it's more common to be reserved.
Yes, welcome. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe and like English Studio. We release new podcasts every week to help you with real, practical English conversation.
So, why is this topic so important, Celia? Why spend the whole episode on feeling?
Well, think about it. You need to express your feelings everywhere. At work, when you're stressed or happy about a project, with your friends, when you need support, in your relationships, it's a huge part of life.
And it's also about mental health. Being able to say, hey, I'm not okay today, is so powerful. It's about being honest with yourself and with others.
Exactly. So today, we promise to give you some really natural phrases you can use in real situations. We'll also talk about how to respond when someone shares their feelings with you.
Yeah, that's just as important. And we'll even share some of our own emotional stories. We'll be talking about all sorts of feelings: stress, happiness, sadness, even feeling angry or overwhelmed. And of course, excitement.
It's going to be a great conversation. Are you ready to get started, Adam?
I am ready. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's start with the basics, but go beyond happy and sad. Let's begin with positive feelings. When you're feeling good, what's something you can say, Adam?
Okay, so of course you can say, I'm so happy or I'm excited. But if you want to sound more expressive, you can say, I'm over the moon.
Ooh, I love that one. It paints such a great picture in your mind. Let's repeat that for our listeners. I'm over the moon.
I'm over the moon. You would use this for really big news like getting a new job or getting engaged.
Totally. For just a general good day, you could say, I feel great today, or I'm in a good mood. Those are simple but very natural. Let's say them again. I feel great today.
I feel great today. And I'm in a good mood.
I'm in a good mood. What about when you've accomplished something? What can you say then?
Great one is, I'm really proud of myself. It's okay to feel proud of your hard work. Let's repeat that. I'm really proud of myself.
I'm really proud of myself. And one more lovely little phrase is, that made my day. You say this when someone does something nice for you or you hear good news.
Oh yeah, I use that one all the time. Like when someone buys you a coffee. Oh, thank you so much. That made my day. Let's say it again. That made my day.
That made my day. Okay, so those are some great positive ones. But what about when we're feeling, well, not so great? Let's talk about feeling sad or down.
Right, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. A very common and soft way to say this is, I feel a bit down today. It's not too dramatic, it just says you're not feeling your best. Let's repeat it. I feel a bit down today.
I feel a bit down today. Another one, which is a bit more poetic, is I'm feeling blue. The color blue is often associated with sadness in English.
Like in the blues music genre. Let's say that one. I'm feeling blue.
I'm feeling blue. You can also say something general, like I'm not in the best mood. It lets people know you might be a little quiet or sensitive.
That's a good one. Let's repeat it. I'm not in the best mood. And if you want a hint that there's a problem without giving details, you could say, something's bothering me.
Yes, that's a great opener for a conversation with a friend. Let's say it again. Something's bothering me.
Something's bothering me. Okay, how about we move on to a stronger emotion? Anger or frustration.
Yes, we all feel this sometimes. A simple and clear one is, I'm so frustrated. You can really hear the emotion in that one.
For sure. Let's repeat it. I'm so frustrated. Or if something specific happened, you could say, that really annoyed me.
Like if someone cuts in front of you in a line, ugh, that really annoyed me. Let's say it again. That really annoyed me.
That really annoyed me. Another great phrase is, I'm fed up with, and then you say the situation. For example, I'm fed up with all this traffic. It means you've had enough.
I'm fed up with the bad weather this week. It works perfectly. Let's repeat the phrase. I'm fed up with.
I'm fed up with. And if you got really angry, you might say, I lost my temper. This means you couldn't control your anger, and maybe you shouted. It's a way to admit you got too angry.
Right, like, I'm sorry I shouted. I lost my temper. Let's say that one. I lost my temper.
I lost my temper. Okay, this next one is so common in modern life. Feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
Oh, yes, the classic is, I'm so stressed out. Everyone will understand that one. Let's repeat it. I'm so stressed out.
I'm so stressed out. And a very similar feeling is being overwhelmed. You can say, I feel overwhelmed. This means you have too many things to handle and you don't know where to start.
That's a great word. Let's say it slowly. I feel overwhelmed.
I feel overwhelmed. Another way to say that is, I have too much on my plate. Imagine your dinner plate is too full of food. It's the same idea. Too many tasks.
That's a fantastic idiom. Let's repeat it. I have too much on my plate.
I have too much on my plate. And when you feel this way for a long time, you can just say, I'm exhausted. It means more than just tired. It's a deep mental and physical tiredness.
Yes, I'm exhausted. It's a very strong word. These phrases really help, right? You can be so much more specific than just saying, I'm stressed.
They absolutely do. And by the way, if you're interested to learn English in a fun and effective way, press the link in the description below. We have some great resources there.
Yes, definitely check that out. Now, let's continue. After feeling exhausted for a long time, you might feel burnt out. This is a very important modern vocabulary word.
It is. Let's talk about that. The feeling of being tired or burnt out. You can say, I'm completely drained, like a battery with no power left.
That's a perfect description. Let's repeat that. I'm completely drained.
I'm completely drained. And the phrase you just mentioned, Celia, I'm burnt out. This is serious. It means you have no energy or motivation left, usually from working too hard for too long.
It is. It's an important thing to be able to express. Let's say it again. I'm burnt out.
I'm burnt out. And when you feel this way, the solution is often simple to say, but hard to do. I need a break.
A very important sentence. Let's repeat it. I need a break. And a more desperate version of that is, I can't keep going like this.
That's a call for help, really. A sign that something needs to change. Let's say it. I can't keep going like this.
Okay, let's move to our last category. It's a mix of positive and anxious feelings, excitement and nervousness.
Yes, for extreme excitement, like before a holiday, you could say, I'm so excited I can't sleep.
I definitely feel that way before a trip. Let's repeat it. I'm so excited I can't sleep. But on the other hand, for something like an exam or presentation, you would say, I'm really nervous about, and then name the event.
Right. I'm really nervous about my interview tomorrow. And the beautiful idiom for that nervous, excited feeling is, I have butterflies in my stomach.
I love that one. It's for when you feel that fluttery, shaky feeling inside. Let's say it. I have butterflies in my stomach.
I have butterflies in my stomach. And finally, a positive way to talk about the future is, I'm looking forward to. Something like, I'm looking forward to the weekend.
It's a really warm and common phrase. Let's repeat it. I'm looking forward to.
Wow, that's a lot of vocabulary, but it's so useful. And if you want to remember these, a great way is to practice them. Make sure you subscribe and like Inja Studio for more emotion vocabulary and practice.
Absolutely. Now, learning the phrases is one thing, but using them is what really matters. So, in this next part, we want to share some real stories where we used these kinds of phrases. I agree. Maybe I can share a story first, actually, before you do, Adam. It's a classic example of a time I got really frustrated and had to manage my anger. Oh, that sounds so tough. I hate that feeling. What did you do?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to hear it. Let's dive in. What happened?
Well, for a few days, I did nothing. I just kept working, feeling more and more stressed. But then I realized I had to say something. So I scheduled a meeting with my boss and I said, I'm feeling really stressed. Can we talk about priorities? Okay, so a few weeks ago, my internet at home just completely stopped working. You know, I work from home a lot, so it was a massive problem. I called the customer service line for my provider, and I was on hold for nearly an hour, just listening to that terrible music loop. I was already starting to get really annoyed just from that.
Wow, that's brave. It can be scary to say that to your boss. And how did he react? Oh, that's the worst. There's nothing that tests your patience more than being stuck on hold. It feels like your time is just being disrespected.
He was amazing, actually. He was really understanding. He said, Thank you for telling me. We looked at my list of tasks and we adjusted the timeline for some projects. It made such a huge difference. I felt so much lighter afterwards.
Exactly. So when a representative finally answered, I was already on edge. I explained the problem and they took me through the whole script. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Of course I had. I told them that and they said, okay, we'll have to schedule a technician to come out. I thought, great, a solution. But then they said the earliest appointment was in 5 days. That's such a great story and the perfect example. The key takeaway is that it's okay to express stress and ask for help. No way. 5 days without the internet when you rely on it for your job. That's completely unreasonable. I would have been seen red at that point.
Exactly. So the key phrases from that story were things like, I'm feeling overwhelmed by, and we talk about, and even, I need some support with. Those are powerful sentences at work.
I was so frustrated.
I took a deep breath and I said, I understand this is the earliest you have, but that's not a workable solution for me. I'm fed up with this situation already. I really felt my patience wearing thin. I was trying so hard not to lose my temper, but I was just so annoyed. They really are. Okay, let me share a happy story to balance things out. Remember when I got my promotion last year, Adam?
That's a great example of being assertive. You express your frustration clearly. Using a phrase like, I'm fed up with the situation is powerful. It shows you've reached your limit. But it's more constructive than just yelling. Do I ever? You're so excited. You're practically bouncing off the walls.
I was hoping so. After the call ended with no resolution, I was fuming. I remember pacing around my apartment just talking to myself, saying, This is unbelievable. I'm so angry. It sounds silly, but it helped to just name the emotion out loud. I was over the moon. After my boss told me, the first thing I did was call my mom. And I just yelled into the phone, Mom, I'm so happy I could cry.
It's not silly at all. It's a healthy way to process the feeling. So what was the next step? Did you just have to accept waiting 5 days? And what did she say?
Well, after I cooled down a bit, I decided to try a different tactic. I found the company's official account on social media and sent them a polite but firm direct message. I explained everything that had happened, how long I'd been on hold, and how disappointed I was. And guess what? I got a reply in less than 15 minutes.
She started crying too. Happy tears, of course. It was such a special moment. You just kept saying, this is the best day ever, and I can't stop smiling. It's so important to share our joy with people.
It really is. The person on the other end was incredibly apologetic.
They looked into my account and suddenly a special appointment slot opened up for the very next morning. It was a huge relief, but it also made me more frustrated in a way, knowing that they could have done that from the start.
Exactly. But let's talk about more difficult feelings too, because life isn't always about promotions and good news.
I get that completely. It's frustrating to know you have to fight that hard to get good service. But it's a brilliant story because it perfectly illustrates the use of those phrases in a real world scenario. You felt frustrated, annoyed, and fed up, and you communicated it directly to get a result.
For sure. Sometimes I feel sad and I don't even know why. It's just a heavy feeling, you know? There's no big reason for it.
Oh, that's absolutely normal. I think everyone feels that way sometimes. It's just part of being human. What do you say in those moments? Who do you talk to?
I usually call my best friend, and I'll say something simple like, "Hey, I'm not feeling great today. Can we just talk?" I don't need advice. I just need a friend to listen.
That's perfect. That's what friends are for. They understand. It's so important to be able to just say, I'm going through a tough time, or I'm not feeling myself today.
Yeah, and that simple phrase, "I just need someone to listen," is so clear and helpful. It tells your friend exactly what you need. You don't need them to solve your problems, just to be there.
That's so true. Listening to stories like these makes it all feel more real, doesn't it? If you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe to English Studio for more real conversation practice.
Please do. Okay, Celia, this brings us to a really important question. We've talked about how to share our own feelings, but what do we say when someone shares their feelings with us? How can we be supportive?
This is such a crucial skill. The most important thing is just to listen and show you care. Some simple, powerful phrases are, I'm here for you.
That's a great one. So simple. "I'm here for you." Another one is, "That sounds really hard." This shows empathy. You are trying to understand their pain.
Yes, or even just, I understand how you feel if you have had a similar experience. But be careful with that one. If you haven't had a similar experience, it's better to not say it.
That's a good point. A very safe and kind response is, "Thank you for sharing that with me." It shows you value their trust.
Oh, I love that. It really honors their vulnerability. And a very practical, helpful question is there anything I can do to help?
Yes, sometimes they might just need a hug or help with a small task. And finally, you can say, "Take your time. It's okay." This gives them permission to feel their feelings without rush.
Those are all so good, but let's also talk about what not to say. There are some common mistakes people make even when they are trying to be helpful.
Right. The biggest one is probably just be positive or cheer up. It sounds nice, but it can feel very dismissive. It's like you're telling them their sadness is wrong.
Exactly. Another bad one is others have it worse. This is so invalidating. It doesn't matter if other people have bigger problems, this person's pain is real to them.
And also, it's not a big deal. This minimizes their feelings. To them, in that moment, it is a big deal. There's another one that's particularly damaging, and that's telling someone you're just being too sensitive.
So, what are better alternatives? Instead of just be positive, what could we say? Oh, that's the absolute worst one. It doesn't just dismiss the feeling, it judges you for having it. It implies that your emotional reaction is wrong or an overreaction. When someone tells you you're being too sensitive, they're not just ignoring your feelings, they're criticizing your character. Exactly. And that applies even to small, everyday problems. Let's imagine a friend calls you and they sound really deflated. They say, I'm so annoyed with myself. I just completely burned the dinner I spent the last hour making.
Such a critical point, Adam. It applies even to very small everyday problems. The size of the problem doesn't determine the size of the feeling. A much better option is, "I hear you. That sounds tough." You're not trying to fix it. You're just acknowledging their feeling.
That's perfect. Or you could say, your feelings are valid, or it's okay to feel this way. You're giving them permission and space to just be.
Right. It's all about validation, not solutions. Learning to express emotions naturally takes practice.
It really does. And if you're interested to learn English in a fun and effective way, press the link in the description. We have great resources for you there that can help you practice.
Absolutely. Now let's do a quick role play to put this into practice. Celia, do you want to start?
Sure. Okay. Imagine I come to you looking worried. I say, Adam, I'm feeling really stressed about work.
Okay, my response would be, oh no, that sounds hard. Want to talk about it?
Yes, thank you. I just feel overwhelmed by all these deadlines.
I understand. That's a lot to handle. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe we can look at the list together.
See, that's perfect. You listened, you validated my feeling, and you offered specific help without being pushy. It makes me feel supported immediately.
It's just about being a good friend, really. And this brings up another interesting point. We express our feelings differently in different situations, right? Like how you talk at work is different from how you talk with friends.
Yes, absolutely. Let's talk about the different contexts. At work, you need to be professional but still honest.
Exactly. So at work, you might say, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with the workload. It's professional. You wouldn't say, I'm freaking out.
Right. Or if you're worried about a project, you could say, I'm concerned about the deadline. It sounds responsible and proactive.
If you disagree with something, you could say, I'm not comfortable with this decision. It's polite but firm. And after a difficult conversation, it's always good to say, I appreciate your understanding.
Those are great for the office. But with close friends, you can be much more open and emotional, right?
Oh, for sure. With my best friend, I would absolutely say, I'm so stressed I can't sleep. Or if I'm having a really bad day, I feel like giving up. You can be more dramatic with people you trust completely.
Of course. And on the positive side, you can be super excited. I'm so excited I can't focus. And it's a wonderful thing to say to a friend, you always make me feel better.
Aw, that's such a lovely thing to hear. And what about with family? It can be a mix of both, but there are some special phrases we use more often with them.
Definitely. Simple things like, I miss you so much, are so important. Or expressing pride, I'm proud of you. We all need to hear that from our family.
And sharing worries. I'm worried about a certain situation. And of course, asking for help. I need your advice. Family is often who we turn to for that kind of guidance.
It's so interesting how the language changes just based on who we're talking to. It's all about the level of trust and the context of the relationship.
Exactly. Well, we have covered so much today. I hope this has been really helpful for everyone listening.
Me too. And to put it all into practice, we have a little challenge for you. We want you to share how you're feeling right now in the comments section. Try to use one of the real English phrases we talked about today.
Yes. For example, you could write, I'm feeling tired but happy because I learned something new today. Or maybe I'm looking forward to practicing these phrases. Be honest.
And we have a little surprise. The first 20 people to comment will get a supportive reply from us. We want to practice being good listeners.
That's a great idea, Celia. And as we wrap up, please don't forget to subscribe to English Studio for weekly conversations about real life, just like this one.
And give this episode a like if it helped you. Remember, your feelings matter, and being able to express them in English is a powerful tool for connection.
So well said. Though next time someone asks, how are you? Maybe try saying something real instead of just, I'm fine, thanks. You might be surprised how people respond.
Thank you all so much for listening today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
It really was. Until next time, take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.